This week we're going to try something different.
Yes.
We're going to have beer.
Like
we're going to try beer this week.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Again.
I think this will be a little different than last week where we tried beer.
Where we had beer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's a different beer every week.
Beer.
Usually it's a different beer.
And different games.
Hey, welcome back to Picks and Pints. Chris and Scott with you, and back again at World of Beer in Tampa. It's a good spot.
Does the animation still have its luster from last week?
I'm just glad the animators didn't add our beer guts to the avatars.
Not yet. It'll grow throughout the season, so track that.
You'll see it progress.
Yes.
Hey, can you believe we're 1 quarter into the college football season
Man,
already?
there's been some good games already, but I think the best is yet to come. We got some good games we're going to discuss today.
Yeah, we're going to get
first. I think we should dive into our six-pack. Okay, it's tough right now. So I got a simple formula. It's who have you beaten and how have you beaten them?
I like it.
So here we go. Number one, we've done a complete reshuffle. I have Ohio State as my number 1 team in the country. I just think the way they've been dominant on both sides of the ball, their defense, it may not be as good as Clemson's, but man, it's up there.
Wait, you just said, who have you beaten? Who have they beaten?
Well, it's a combination of who have you beaten and how have you beaten them.
Okay.
So they haven't beaten anybody, but they've beaten the nobodies very soundly. Alabama at number 2, again, haven't played anybody. A little bit of question on their defense still, but 2 is amazing. Clemson, I have questions on their offense. How can they put teams away? They've, I think, been a little rocky today. Georgia, nice sound win against Notre Dame. At your place, you should have won by 2 touchdowns, barring a couple touchdowns
you
late.
Think so? Okay.
Yeah, I think that Notre Dame made it a really close game. They could have won that game. Auburn, obviously they have 2 good wins. They're not sound wins. I don't know what to think of Texas A&M at this point in time. Are they going to be a national contender when it's all said and done? I'm not sure. But impressive wins nonetheless. Auburn's number 5. LSU, you gave up 38 points to Vandy. I don't love that. I do love their win at Texas. I got them in at number 6.
Where are the Badgers? No Badgers?
Their defenses look great, man. But they beat Michigan at home. Oklahoma, they had a bye last week. They're in the mix as well. So I think there's like good 8 or 9 teams in the country that are in the mix.
Yeah, they're hanging off right down here.
This is my top
south
6.
of the page.
Yes.
And a shout out again to our graphics department in Sheboygan. Great work this week, guys. You know what the graphics department did for me? They gave me a reveal. I asked for a reveal, so they gave me a little.
That's high tech.
Yeah, look at this. It's gonna reveal itself. You know, my Aunt Patsy, my sweet Aunt Patsy, was upset at me.
I love Aunt Patsy.
Yeah, she was upset at me last week for putting LSU ahead of Alabama.
How could you do that?
Well, she's going to be really unhappy with me this week. Take Look who I have at number 6, Alabama.
Oh, we're going backwards.
Yeah, we're doing a countdown just because Alabama.
Weren't they number 2 last week on your poll?
Opposite of you, I'm not projecting on what these teams will be at the end of the season. I'm
not projecting. It's a combination, again, let me repeat, of who you've beaten and how you've beaten.
So let's get back to that. Who have you beaten? Alabama still has not beaten anyone. Wisconsin I have at 5, okay? Great win last week, destroyed Michigan.
Yes, but what is Michigan
But they ripped their arms off.
What is Michigan right
some
now?
of us picked Michigan to be a preseason playoff team, so we have to kind of fall on that sword right now. LSU, number 4, still that great win over Texas. Yeah, their defense has looked shaky. Number 3, I have Georgia. Auburn, I have it too. Auburn has the two best wins of any of these teams.
2 marquee wins, but again, Oregon is good. What are they? Texas A&M.
But
they're pretty good, but man, I just don't know yet.
But it's still better than what these other guys have on their resume. And Clemson, I almost thought about putting Auburn 1. Clemson and Auburn's wins over A&M were pretty similar. Clemson dominated A&M a little more, but Clemson was playing them.
So right now you're saying the 2 teams that are going to end up being in the national championship game are separated by 5 spots, Alabama and Clemson?
Yeah. Again, this isn't a projection. This is about where you are now. Don't worry, Aunt Patsy. This will all sort itself out, right?
We got to make Aunt Patsy pretty happy. Okay. What does she think about beer?
She does not like beer.
Big beer drinker?
I think she stops watching at this part of the show right here.
Oh, no. Stay locked in, Patsy.
But please, Aunt Patsy, stay locked in because I've got a good one for you this week. We're going out of the country for my selection this week. Look at this color. This is the Delirium Tremens, the DTs, Delirium Tremens.
Okay.
And this is by a brewery that I can't pronounce, but I'm going to try. Brewery, okay, I won't try. I'll just butcher it.
I think you should try.
Anyway,
actually.
If you guys want to find it in a store or at the pub, look for the big pink elephant. The big pink elephant is the logo.
That's why he picked it.
And it's got this
Patsy, you'll be happy to know this is an Alabama beer.
Roll Tide. It's got this nice lacy head. You see that there? You enjoy that? And it's a light-bodied beer, but it's about an 8.5, so it still has some oomph to it. So here we go.
A lacy head is a good thing.
Well, in this world,
good aroma.
Yeah, it smells a little fruity, so we'll see what it tastes like. Strong aftertaste.
Okay.
Bit of dry, kind of a dry. It's good. It's got a dry aftertaste, kind of a bitter aftertaste. You know, in a Belgian style, you're not going to get a lot of hops, so I don't know that you would enjoy this as much, but I like it. It's pretty strong. It's got a little spice to it, a little spiciness there.
So you went out of the country. I'm going out of the world with mine. Oh. This is Collective Arts Ransack the Universe. How about that? This is actually a Canadian beer, but they have, the reason I think it's called Ransack the Universe is because these hops are from all over the globe.
Mars.
They have hops from Australia. They have hops from Washington, tying into maybe one of our games that we're about to preview.
We'll see.
So here we go. Ransack the Universe.
Don't ransack it too hard there.
It's good, yeah. There's you definitely taste some of those hops, but it's really juicy and like tropical. There's mango in here for sure.
Did you say it's an IPA?
This is an IPA,
okay.
Yeah. Did I miss that? I like it.
You probably said it.
Good.
I probably missed it.
It's a nice little light summertime beer.
All right, so 3 big games to pick this week. We're starting with a game that features one of the teams we saw in one of the biggest games last week. Notre Dame, of course, went toe-to-toe with Georgia. We're going to pick all of these games against the spread, and right now the Irish are favored as of this taping. By the way, do you like how we still use tape?
Yes. It's a big tape machine. It's a giant setup.
Yeah, we're on, as of this taping, the Irish are favored by 12 to beat Virginia. Virginia coming to Notre Dame. Virginia's a good team, though. They're 4-0.
Yeah, similarly built teams, good defense. Cavaliers lead the country in sacks. They have 20 sacks, and they both have dual-threat quarterbacks, Bryce Perkins and Ian Book on the Irish side. This is a little bit of a let-down game, I think, for Notre Dame. They're coming back home off that Georgia game. Man, so close, came down to the final drive. As for Virginia, I was not impressed by their win last week against Old Dominion. They were down by 17 at one point.
They were looking ahead?
They really turned it up. I think that will be the key. I think Virginia brings a little bit more intensity.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to take Virginia and the points. I still think Notre Dame wins, but I think they win by 10.
I'm right there with you. I like both defenses. Both defenses playing really well. Virginia hasn't surrendered more than 24 points this season, that to Florida State. Notre Dame's defense is, I love what they did against Georgia. Clark Lee has them playing all over the place. So I like the Irish, a little bit of a Georgia hangover. I like the Irish to win, but I like Virginia to get closer than 12 points, so I'll take Virginia and the points in that one too.
All right, let's go out west, and we tied in the hops earlier from Ransacking the Universe. It's Washington hosting USC. USC coming off a big win against Utah last week. How do you see this one playing out?
Well, people have kind of forgotten about Washington, I think, because they had that weird loss to Cal a couple of weeks ago that had the weather delay.
By the way, Cal could be pretty good.
And Cal's pretty good, and they had the weather delay and everything. I like Washington in this one just because I still think they're the class of the Pac-12. They've got a really good defense. Jacob Eason's playing well, and I think USC is going to have a bit of a hangover from that contest they had last week at Utah. So I'm going to take Washington. They're favored by 9.5. I like the Huskies by about 10 or so in this one.
I agree with you there. I think Washington back home. I think the way Jacob Eason's playing, he's very steady. Their running game, it was fantastic last week. I think they continue in that. I don't know if they're starting running back Salvin Ahmed, I don't know if he's going to be starting in this game, but I don't think it matters because there wasn't much drop-off we saw last week. I think they're going to be able to run the ball effectively against USC, and I think they beat them by double digits.
All right, we both like the Huskies to cover there. All right, let's end with the game that features your number one in the nation team right now, even though they haven't played anyone, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Going on the road, what an environment this will be in Lincoln, Nebraska. Is there any town that cares about football more? I don't know that there is. The Huskers are 3-1 though, had that disappointing loss to Colorado a couple weeks ago, and the Buckeyes are favored by 18. What do you think?
This is the marquee game for Scott Frost. Could this be the game that turns their fortunes? They get to host the Buckeyes. I just think, again, Ohio State's just too explosive on both sides of the ball. Chase Young in that defense, I think they're going to get after Adrian Martinez. Good dual threat quarterback. But again, this is kind of like that Michigan factor. Michigan has talent. Nebraska has talent. They turn the ball over way too much. They have 9 fumbles in the last 4 games. And against Ohio State, that will not fly. You cannot lose the turnover battle and beat this Ohio State team. And I think what the spread is 18.
18, yeah.
I think Nebraska loses by at least 3 touchdowns to the Buckeyes at their own place. I don't know if this is going to end well for Scott Frost's group.
Yeah, I wish I could come up with a shocking pick here that we would have something different this week, but I can't do that. I think that spread may be covered by halftime. Just vastly different in terms of talent and speed here. And I love what Justin Fields has done with this. He's already ahead of where Dwayne Haskins was last year.
He doesn't make mistakes.
I know
he hasn't made a fumble last week, but other than that, no turnovers,
now
no
we're
interceptions.
jinxing him. Now he'll turn the ball over 6 times. But I think the difference in this Ohio State and last year is definitely the defense. They're flying around the ball. The linebackers aren't out of position like they were last year. And yeah, I think they're going to give Nebraska fans a very, very long day there. And the Buckeyes are going to definitely cover that 18.
Yeah, should be a good game. Either way, man, we're going to get a little bit more separation with some of these teams. I know our top 6 right now are just a mess. We're all over the place.
Mine are perfect, actually. Mine are lined up perfectly.
Right. Well, you hear that, Aunt Patsy?
Although I will have.
I don't know about. Are you okay with this, Patsy? You need to call him.
I bet next week I'll have Ohio State in the top 6, probably after this performance we're going to see.
I think you definitely will.
You're going to blast off into the galaxy. Ooh, our wings.
Look, our wings showed up just in time.
Come on, let's show these babies off here. Look at this. This is what you get at World of Beer when you order wings.
Not too bad.
I'd love to see the chickens those things came from.
My mouth is already watering.
Yeah, get a whiff there. All right, we're going to put those there and dive in. Thank you very much.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Here, I'll eat this bowl of ranch dressing while you start on the wings. Hope you guys have a great weekend of college football. Enjoy a good craft beer. Maybe get a delirium tremens. Look for the pink elephant.
Or just go out there and ransack the universe.
That's all you need to do. May your glasses stay full and your team's loss column stay empty.
I like that. I like it.
I don't like
mango.